Welcome back to the Honduki project, and we're going to be doing some serious shit this time. Yes, both inwards and outwards on the cylinder block thing. Yeah, we're going to be unwrapping that exhaust and wrapping it in, and we're going to be putting the carburetors back on. This is exciting. Like they say, life begins at 40, and this is episode 41, I think. And yeah, we might even get to fire it up soon. That'll be exciting. Yes, bucking exciting even. No, not shoes. That's my wife's department. In here is the carburetor. Apparently a size 11 shoebox is the perfect size to store your Honda CB750 carburetors. So, all we've got to do is get those in those. How hard can it be? Well, on the hardness scale, I'm expecting anywhere between quite to very. Anyway, before we do that, Chris dropped the spacer back off, so let's get that in. I won't bother filming it, it'll be boring. Well, that's back on properly now, and that was spacer that was missing. Yeah. So that's all good. We're going to have to obviously loosen that all up again when we put the chain on. That's good for now. So let's get these puppies on, and it's a good job actually that all happened in the sequence it did, because I had these on upside down and that would have been a nightmare. Get them all installed and then upside down. Duh. Okay, right way up. And in my defense, the reason I had them upside down, I wasn't paying any attention obviously, but the choke cable is on the right hand side, and the accelerator cable itself is on the left hand side, which of course goes to the right hand side. And I'm thinking of mounting this monstrosity, yes, choke, up here somewhere. So that's why I had it on upside down anyway. So, are we ready? Clocks. No, this one's always ready. And that one says it's tink time. And I know there'll be one person that gets the reference to "Are we ready?" clocks. If there's anyone else, leave it in the comments. Mr. Stewart, don't. So I'm not entirely sure whether this is the right thing to use or not, but I literally took a little dab, as you can see, off the lid. And smeared it in there. See if that works. Well, several attempts later, just not getting there. This is really difficult. Just lining everything up, obviously, and getting the right force on. I thought I had it in there a couple of times, started screwing up the screws, and everything just fell over again. So I'm gonna have to leave it to the professionals. It shouldn't be that hard, should it, right? Getting 4 things into 4 rubber boots. It's bad enough getting a couple of things into 2 cloth things. So I'm calling it a day for today. Not this episode, obviously. I'll be back tomorrow, or the day after. Whatever. See you tomorrow. Well, top tip from Chris was to completely loosen off these boys and slip them back, and sure enough these went on, but now I don't know how to get the clips back into position to tighten them up. So thanks to Chris, they're back on, and the 2 outside ones are clipped up with the Jubilee clips on the up inside here, which are difficult to get to. So these still need addressing, obviously, the inside ones. But we'll get to them. We'll get it sorted. And by the way, that's Chris from FTW Motorcycles in Sedona, which stands for fucking tremendous. Clearly I hadn't thought that one through. I think the W stands for well-advised advice. Well, that's that all buttoned up, actually. So thanks again, Chris, for advice. And there's no wonder my wife calls this my yoga, because if you'd seen the ridiculous positions I had to get into to tighten up those hose clips. Yeah, yoga, as opposed to yogurt, which is just disgusting, honestly. Anyway, I've got dogs to feed, and tomorrow the exhaust arrives, hopefully, and we'll be doing that. More yoga. So there's those air intakes that I bought in a moment of madness. Actually, they're still kind of cool. I don't know how they'd work in the middle. I don't think they would. So maybe the alternative would be 2 of those in the middle, or we just go for 4 of those, which we've got, except they're on the bumper car. So I don't know. Votes, please, gentlemen. I would say ladies and gentlemen, but I know for a fact, according to the analytics, that no women watch this channel, which is a bit sad. Come on, ladies, there must be something interesting. I'll show you my wife's shoe collection. Well, here it is, right on time. Delkovik, Iceland, full stop. Yeah, excellent. Should we see what's inside?
Yeah, but before we do, I decided these are too much. So I've ordered some nice conical ones.
Right. No surprise there then. Some pipes, yes. 4 pipes, some bracketry, and an end pipe, presumably. Why, yes indeed. Good. Alright. See if it all fits. Prepare for swearing and cursing. 4 down pipes, a 4 into 1, and some connections and things. Kill. 4 crash gaskets, 4 things, springs, and a tool to put them on with. That's cool. So messing around with long nose pliers and snapping at your fingers. Various mounting things which presumably fit onto the standard frame. And some gunk. And some stickers. We like stickers. Yes, indeed, folks, that's thunder. It's monsoon season. Yes, more thunder. Bollocks. No, I mean nuts. There's no nuts. Never fear. Nuts are here, yes. They happen to be the right size. So we'll be using those and replacing them when we come to need to. Meantime, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Although the cats and dogs are all inside because they don't like the rain. Who came up with that saying anyway? I mean, it's not even rhyming slang. What does it mean? Well, thankfully, they're all numbered, which saves a lot of time, doesn't it? Trying one and then working out what goes where. Yes, that could have taken a month of Sundays. Well, issue number 1, which I'm afraid is the showstopper at this point, is that even without the crush gaskets, the studs aren't long enough, and they're pretty long studs as exhaust studs go, right? Yeah, so that's fairly long as well. That's disappointing. Nice product, by the way. I mean, beautifully made. Yeah, yes. Talking of exhaust gaskets, of course, I hadn't removed the original ones, had I? Yeah. Okay, let's try again. The brain in gear. Well, still not much to play with, and that's without the crush gasket in there. But there's number 1 pipe on. I mean, just loosely in place. Because of course we're going to have to fit it and then unfit it and then refit it and then unfit it and then refit it for real. So if you tuned into this episode hoping to hear me fire it up, you must be having a giraffe. Not least of all, there's still a few other components to be sorted out, like the fuel tank to the newly installed carburetors, that I'm still very proud of. Number 2 pipe on. Good job it was the Yamaha, right? 4 cylinders. Could have been the Ducati. Then we'd have been in trouble. Well, Mr. Simpson's come to help, which can only mean one thing. It's dinner time. For cats, at least. Anyway, now they're on the right way around. So that's number 1 over there. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And down here they're kind of coming together, I guess. That'll take some wiggling, but yeah, there you go. That's gonna kind of fit. Yep, like that. Guess what? I started from the wrong end with the wrong number. Yes, as always. Anyway, let's rewind. So that looks like it might fit into that. Yeah, cool. Let's give it a go. Well, everything's a bit loose and wobbly up top, as you can imagine, because it's barely finger tight. But as you can see, it all kind of marries up and just about fits in there for the time being, and comes out at the right kind of angle there. So, yeah. I think we'll call that a job done. A few flames shooting out the end, that won't matter. Don't need no stinking silencer. But yeah, for a test fit, I like that. I'm comfortable that I can get those exhaust gaskets in there. And jolly nice product, I have to say. Thanks to Delkovic, Iceland, full stop. I don't even know if they're from Iceland. I don't think they are. Anyway, yeah, very nice. Looking at the silencer, muffler, whatever you want to call it, it's going to end up about there. That bracket is going to end up about an inch forward, probably, by the time we tightened everything up. Obviously, it's not even stuffed in there. So we've got an inch at least. Yeah, so that means this boy goes where exactly? Don't really want to drill a hole through that. I think you're going to have to, though. And this is totally superfluous to requirements, unless, I guess the bike came with, because the stand's on the other side, right? Stand, stop. I guess it came with a centre stand, did it? Yeah, most bikes in those days had both. So maybe it was. Can't imagine any self-respecting cafe racer builder ordering a Delkovic exhaust is going to have a centre stand, but there you go. Anyway, I think we'll worry about that bit later. I think we need to get the whole exhaust actually situated to this point at least. Because, I don't know if you remember, or if you watched the Suzuki, but that had pretty much straight through pipes, and it wasn't that loud, especially compared to the bloody Ducati. I think at this point, I'm just going to see what that sounds like when you fire it up like that, and then worry about this end of it later. In terms of firing it up, we're waiting for our new air filters that are very similar to that, except they're blue, of course. They're coming, and they're the right size as opposed to this, which I just managed to squeeze on. And that's going on that. Anyway. Or that, which is going in that. Then we just need to tidy up that mess and put the fuel tank on and work out what we're going to do with the seat, which is kind of strange. Strange for my projects at least, in that I normally have all the aesthetics sorted out before I actually deal with the important bits. Not that we know whether this runs or not yet. But yeah, so yeah, we've still got the seat to resolve. Oh, that sounds familiar. Did you watch the Ducati series? or indeed the Yamaha series. But there was Derek involved in those. So let's dismantle it all again and put the crash gaskets in place. Talking of which, I can't recommend highly enough a beanbag. Can you see it? There, yeah. For doing this kind of stuff. Because I'm on the floor, fiddling around with that. Yeah. Very good. Supports your back, all that kind of stuff. If you're an old git like me. Well, that didn't go well. Not least of all because, as you know, we had very little to play with on the threads, which are long as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, trying to juggle the crash gasket in there while marrying everything up with very minimal thread to play with was a total fiasco. So, tink top tip, or not, I'm going to use some of this to just stick those little gaskets in there, so I don't, at least don't have to worry about that, because that'll just burn off fairly bloody quickly, I would imagine. And there they are, all gooped in. Yeah, look, evidence of goop. Anyway, that's going to burn off, so at least they're just kind of there. And then I can mess around with whatever I need to mess around with. But what I'm thinking is that I'm potentially going to need to shave off, I don't know, at least a couple of mil off all of these. Because it's so bloody tight, there's so little thread to play with. And I don't think I'm going to find longer exhaust studs than that. Plus, I don't want to get these ones out and replace them because, I mean, they're good. And you know what a nightmare I had on the Yamaha if you watch that series about getting the studs out. So, yeah. I think these might be bound for Adam to shave off at least a couple of mil. Because all it'll do, is, you know, let's say we shave off 5 mil, which will be quite a lot. But all it's going to do is set everything 5 mil back at the other end, right? So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So, more exhaustive and exhausting exploration of exhaust. Not unsuspected, I have to say. Little bit disappointing, but overall great product. So that won't be fitted this episode. What we could do is fit the chain and tie up the old drum brake rod thing for whatever it's worth, which is very little, honestly. As we've said before, drum brakes are rubbish. Oh, I think we'll get onto all that next episode. I think it's quite enough for one episode. So, as usual, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, do it down here somewhere. If you thought the video was any good, give it a thumbs up. And, of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.